Hi there. How's everybody doing? It's Tuesday Talk, and I'm excited because I'm going to finish up a project from last week, and then I am going to put my brush in silk for the very first time. So I'm pretty excited. So let's get this jewelry box project out of the way first. Um, let's take a look at it. It's right here, and I'll show you what I've done to finish it. Last week I had painted it and I put the stencils on it. Well, now I have distressed it. Okay, so because the stencils weren't perfect, so distressing it really covers a multitude of sins. And then I also did the hardware. I waxed, I kept one side to do for you, but I used Easy Peasy spray wax all over. And then I used Best Dang Wax in Grunge Gray. And then I used black gilding wax on the hardware and a little bit of gemstone mousse in golden gem. So kind of tried to simulate the oil rub bronze look. So I hope we have better connection this evening. Just to remind you, I brought home a different computer. I was using a different one, and it seemed to not want to stay connected last time. So I hope this one's much better. And not just that, as I always say, as soon as we reach that 1,000 subscriber mark, then I'll be able to do some cool stuff with different devices on my lives. So should have better connections. So let me go ahead and get this done. Did the top, and funny story, I painted it shut. So I still have to deal with that. But I'm going to do this side of it. I'm going to turn it around so you can see and put the screen down a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. And all I'm going to do is spray a little of the Easy Peasy spray wax on here. And then I'm going to use the grunge gray around the edges, and I did distress it with a little bit of fine sandpaper. Just went along the edges with that. Now I'm just giving it a little bit of gray along the sides there. Okay. I don't think I sanded that. So I'm going to just sand this a little bit. This was actually the best stencil that came out, but the rest of them are distressed, so we'll distress that one too. Okay. All right, and I don't have any hardware to do on that one. So this piece is all done, except for me figuring out how to open it. So I was pretty pleased with the way it turned out. And as soon as I get it open, I'll be real happy. So I'm going to put this away. And then I have a challenge. Okay. Would you believe it or not, I'm going to paint 3 pieces of furniture tonight. Do you believe it? I haven't even started them. Let me show you. Here's 1, 2, and 3. Aren't they just so cute? And I'm going to put the screen down a little bit. They're just so cute. And here's the star of the show. This is the favorite color. So this is Dixie Belle's new line of paint. It's an all-in-one mineral paint called Silk. It's not like the Dixie Belle paint that you're used to, the chalk mineral paint. It's not chalky. It's silky smooth. So I haven't tried it yet. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I brought a couple colors. I brought Harbor. This has all along been my favorite color when I saw all of the um, literature. And then when I got it in stock, I was definitely right. That's my favorite. And then here is Serenity. And I think this is kind of like a nice greenish gray. I can't really decide. It's a very peaceful color, as the name implies, but it's I'm gonna say it's more of a green, kind of a sagey, soft color. And then this one is well, some people would say conch and some people would say conch, like the shell, but it's a real pretty pink color. It's almost like the tea rose color, but it's a little pinker. So I'm gonna put the screen up here a second. And so let me just tell you what the recommendations are with this paint. First of all, they suggest that you do a scuff sand before you paint. That's something you're not used to us talking about with chalk mineral paint. So I did these two pieces and I have not done this one. So I'm just going to show you what a scuff sand is, and it's pretty easy. It's just this. You're just barely touching the surface. You're just doing it to prepare it for paint. These are so cute. The little doors open up. This one was kind of compromised, so I'm going to use these for paint samples for the colors. So I kind of glued that one shut. But that is really all you need to do. So the next thing is another thing we're used to doing with Dixie Belle chalk mineral paint is getting the brush wet sometimes or using a mister bottle. It is not recommended to use water with silk mineral all-in-one mineral paint. So when we say all-in-one, it is it has the primer built in and the color and the sealer. So the only time they recommend that you would use any water with it is if you're using a paint sprayer. Let's get painting. So another thing too, they recommend a dry synthetic brush. Okay. Since these are small, I just have artist brushes, but they are synthetic. I wish they were a tad bigger, but what are you going to do? Okay, so I have to start with Harbor because it's the one that I really wanted to paint with. It's a beautiful color. Okay, so I'm going to put the screen down a little bit and paint my first piece of furniture. Okay, I'm just going to start in here. Some things I've been reading. They say long sweeping strokes. It's going to be a little difficult with a small piece of furniture like this. And when your brush starts to drag, reload it. Another thing we're used to with chalk mineral paint is to say, to try to stretch our paint a little bit or it goes really far. So we just want to make sure we're not getting brush strokes. So we're just going to apply these long, even strokes, and when it starts to drag, just put more paint on. So blending can be done, but not with a mister bottle. So it's a little bit of a learning curve to start using this paint if you have just been a veteran chalk mineral paint user. I would say that if you are a, what's that expression? Dyed in the wool? Um, Chalk mineral paint user, that maybe this isn't your kind of paint. If you are a person who doesn't like the chalky surface of that kind of paint, then this paint might be what you're looking for. So again, I'm going to use these on my display to show the samples of the different colors. So I think these are going to be so cute. We have done so many cool things with the studio. It's coming along really nicely. We are improving it. We painted the floor. We actually cemented an area, the studio area, and painted a rug on it. Painted our displays. Some new signage. It's going to be a fun place to take classes. We have one more spot in our beginners class that is on, that's a chalk mineral class. That's on Saturday, January 30th, this coming Saturday. And then we also have the following Saturday, we have advanced techniques. And that's where you do all the fun stuff like blending, transfers. Speaking of transfers, transfers go beautifully on silk, so I hear. This little piece is going to be tempting to put a transfer on. A little transfer. So I'm also considering a free silk workshop on Saturday. Just kind of a stop anytime throughout the day and just give it a try. Just little hands-on, try before you buy. Usually when I do a little painting like this, I usually bring the hair dryer to dry between coats. And I hear this dries pretty quickly. So we'll paint our other pieces, and then we'll come back to this and see if it needs a second coat. So far, I think it looks good. I just love that color. I think the color is gorgeous. Okay. So I'll set that one aside. And then let's paint with conch or conch. How would you say it? I guess people in Florida say conch. So I don't know. Other people say conch. Okay. This is so cute. Now this one, the drawer doesn't open, but it's just so cute. Little china closet. This is a really pale color. So remember I said that it was kind of like tea rose. I'm going to take that back. It is kind of, but it's lighter for sure. It's a really pretty pale color. It's a little deeper than our pink champagne. But not as deep as tea rose. Kind of hard to see on this raw wood because it's really light, almost the same tone. So far, I have no complaints. I wasn't looking to have any, though. Like I said, it's totally different for me because obviously I've done a lot of painting in the last 5 or 6 years that I've had Dixie Belle, that I've used the chalk mineral paint. So I've gotten quite used to it. So this is a little bit different for me. I wasn't quite sure what to expect, except for what I was told. Anyway, I'm super excited to carry it, excited to try some bigger pieces with it, and to offer it to you. See how you feel about it. And just, like I said, super excited to do some things in our studio. I'm just so anxious to get some classes going. Well, we will Saturday, but to have our classes in our new studio space. We've revamped studios so many times, but needs change. And especially now with COVID, we needed a bigger area so that we could, have safe, social distancing and still be able to meet in person to do some classes. So after the advanced techniques class on the 6th, I believe, then the following week, which would be the 13th, there's a cabinet painting class. And I was asked if we could do some virtual classes. I have to think that one through. I'd, like to be able to do a kit. So with that one, it's a little different. So because we use a cabinet door. But you know what? I'm always trying to please my customers and think of ways to do just that. So I might come up with something. How cute is this little piece? And if you're watching, feel free to say hello in the comments. Our channel is growing all the time. Every time I look, we have a couple more subscribers. I'm doing the daily videos now, that you learn something new. So we had a video up an hour ago, and they're on all different subjects. So, but these are the ones that I do the crafting and painting. Trying to keep it so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm liking this color. One more side to do here. All right. So here's dresser number 2, or little china closet, I guess. And then we're gonna go for some Serenity. I hope my brushes are staying okay. I didn't want to, still nice and wet. I didn't want to put it in water. Okay, this is so cute. The little doors open. So I'm gonna have to do the inside of it. And this is the one where I had to make this one not open, but this one opens. I won't do the inside of that though. So cute. So I'm gonna have to figure out how exactly I want to label these so that people, when they're looking at my display, so that people know what they're looking at. Wait, these are dry already. Of course, this is raw wood, but I'm still impressed. Okay, I'm gonna flip it this way so I can see what I'm doing. So originally I thought that that harbor color was kind of almost like that vintage duck egg, but this kind of reminds me of vintage duck egg, but it's more green. It is a beautiful color. Sorry to put this towards me. I'll turn it towards you here in a second. How beautiful that is. Ah, this is my favorite so far. I need to remember to bring my little circle light, my ring light, so my lighting's better. Always trying to step up the video game. Fastest furniture painting ever. I never finished 3 china closets in one night before. Of course, I still haven't, so. So, if you live where I live, in Altoona, we had an ice storm today. We didn't open our store today. So I'm kind of over winter. Kind of way over winter. You know how it gets. Well, of course, we're almost to the end of January. So if we remain lucky and don't have too bad weather, then on to spring. Get the insides of these doors. I wouldn't mind some small, pretty snowstorms, but big ones, no. Ice storms, no. I'm over it. This is very satisfying, painting this little furniture. This was actually given to me. I had considered doing this, and then a lady that shops in our store gave these pieces to me. So there's some other ones too. There's actually a whole bunch of little miniatures. So I'll probably end up doing the rest of them for display. But I didn't want to open all of the new inventory up at once, so just thought I'll open the first ones that appealed to me, but they're all pretty. There's so they call these colors kind of Hampton colors. So that is sort of like means they're kind of like what you would find um, like what you would find in the Hamptons, the homes and everything that are painted those colors. Just beautiful. I didn't want to do any major details on these because I wanted the color to be the star of the show, so when people look at them, I really don't want them looking at a bunch of details like transfers and stuff. And it's tempting to do that on here, but I really, the purpose is for people to see the color. So I don't think I'm going to do anything crazy with them. Pretty pretty. So other things you can do, you can distress silk. So, so we say it's an all-in-one, which means it has the primer built in and then a sealer. So let's talk about that a minute. So if I was painting a very shiny, slick surface like a plastic or a glass, the primer that's in this is not a bonding primer. So we would still need to use Slick Stick if we were painting something really, really shiny. Okay. So keep that in mind. It's also the primer that's built in is not a stain blocking primer. So if you are painting something that is a bleeder, which we say, means that the tannins in the wood will come out, like cherry or mahogany or sometimes even pine, then you want to use Boss, which is Dixie Belle's stain and odor blocking primer. So we don't want to use these two paints together. Like you could put a base coat of one of the chalk mineral colors down, but then add a coat of silk, but don't try to blend colors like in the jar. So in other words, don't mix the colors together because there are different formulas of paint. So you're not going to get a good result. All right, let's see what else. If there's anything I missed on here. Yeah, the little front. This is so cool. I'm so used to painting big pieces like this. It's really sweet to paint something little like this. All right, so let's revisit the first one that I painted. Move this over. Okay, this one's pretty much dry. I can see there's just one little spot down here that's wet. It's certainly dry enough for me to touch it. And I am ready to put a second coat on and see what we have. See what that looks like. I wish I had a slightly larger brush, but I'm anxious to see what this second coat does. I can tell my brush dried off a little bit, but look at that. So far I'm not seeing like an overly shiny finish. You know, it's just a nice finish. And I'm actually taking classes on this paint. So I will have more and more information for you all the time. And this is just new in the United States. So it's been in other countries and it's very popular. So we're just getting it now. And I'm really excited to be carrying it too. Not all Dixie Belle retailers are carrying them. We're considered elite retailers that carry the Dixie Belle silk line, along with being a premier retailer carrying all the rest of the Dixie Belle line. The second coat so far is beautiful. And we can see the difference. So just a lot of us are used to looking at a different kind of finish with the chalk mineral paint, and I'll never stop loving all the fun finishes, the techniques, the blending, and all that stuff. So this is just a cleaner look. It's just a whole different cup of tea for a different customer. Or if you're like me and you like all kinds of design, you might be the same person, but just a different look. Yeah, just tilt this over here and do the sides. So not only can we say that I painted 3 pieces of furniture tonight, but I maybe got 2 coats on all of them. So again, the color I'm painting with right now is called Harbor. And it is a beautiful, beautiful blue. So there's 2 coats on there. Okay, and then the next one we're doing is the conch. Conch. I hate that when a word is pronounced two different ways because I feel the next necessity to say it both ways every time just to appease everyone. So it's just a weird thing with me. Okay, what a difference this second coat is making. Now I did give it that scuff sand, but this piece is kind of rough. So that smooth look we're going for is kind of have to start with a smooth piece of furniture first. It's tough to sand these little pieces too. Details, details. And of course, I'm going really fast too. Trying to use long strokes as long as I can with these little pieces. It does dry pretty quickly. All right. Let's get the bottom of this. It's like I'm saying, I'm gonna do something I believe this Saturday in the shop with the workshop. Just stop by and try it. Like I'm not sure exactly what we'll be painting on. And hoping to make it something that you can take with you. I have to see what I'm doing here. Silk is a good name for it. It really does glide on. I was reading, just to be generous, get a good brush full, and when your brush feels like it's dragging, to get more paint. Don't try to, spare this paint. But really, this is, I'm going to be doing a customer's kitchen in it real soon. So I'm really excited about it. Okay, so piece number 2 with 2 coats. The conch. You say it like that, and I'm only going to say it once. How about that? Progress. Personal growth. Okay, and then, boy, I love this color. This is not 100% dry, but I'm going to go ahead and put a second coat on it anyway. And that way you can see what 2 coats looks like on that. I love this color. Serenity. So I should have grabbed my little plastic bag to put brushes in, because they do, it does get, real stiff real quick. So it does dry pretty quickly. Oh, I know I keep saying it, but I love this color. It's beautiful. I'm not going to paint the inside of it again. I can only watch so much paint dry. So I always say that when you watch paint videos, you literally are watching paint dry, but here I am painting the inside. Like I said, I wasn't going to, but I couldn't resist. Just did a little in the back. Just the back. But anyway, so if you're like me, you find it oddly satisfying. But like I said, I can only, in videos, I can only watch so much of the slow process. So I try to keep things moving along. Live videos are different, of course. But the recorded ones, the ones you can edit, these are the ones where you try to make things move along. Okay. I don't want to break this thing. Just want to get my little door shut so I can paint this front section, because like I said, I'm not worrying about these doors opening and closing. They're just going to be a representative of color. If I see people playing with my furniture, I'm going to start painting furniture to sell then. Can't, tell people not to play with it. I hope you all are staying well and free from the COVID. And if you did manage to get it, I hope that you didn't get it badly. Okay, I have the other side of this to do. And there you have it. I have painted 3 pieces of furniture tonight. Okay, I thought Harbor was my favorite color, and now Serenity is my favorite color. But then again, there are 17 more colors. Once I paint with them, I might find that they are my favorite. So I hope you had fun watching this little painting session tonight. And I appreciate you joining me. And again, our channel grows when you share videos, like them, comment on them. That's all good stuff. And I sure do appreciate it. And I'm doing these quick little 7 o'clock videos every day on different subjects. Um, Business coaching, just little, it's kind of like knowledge nuggets, things that you may or may not have known. And then, of course, we're doing the Saturday step by step and Tuesday talk. So um, I just appreciate everything you do. And mainly, I appreciate you watching. So you have a wonderful evening. And I will be talking to you very soon. Take care.